One of the many things that prevents brands from scaling is an effective testing strategy. Now, I have developed and I'm using a proven testing framework that works for brands spending as little as a few $100s per day up to $10,000+ per day. In this video, I will walk you through the exact campaign setup, the exact testing setup, show how to implement it, and explain exactly why it works so well. So first of all, campaign strategy. The way we are running is simple. We have one main campaign where we have top of funnel ads, middle of funnel ads, and bottom of funnel ads all in one. Because this campaign is a CBO, your budget distribution between bottom of funnel ads and top of funnel ads will be perfect. Because in a CBO, Meta is spending most on what is having the biggest scaling potential. That means getting most people into your funnel, which leads eventually to a conversion. Unlike in ABO testing, you don't run into the danger of overspending on bottom of funnel ads with high frequency, which then burns out your funnel and forces you into a dip for many weeks or months before you find the next top of funnel ad. This is, by the way, one of the reasons so many brands have this roller coaster performance. They have great performance, scale, overspend on bottom of funnel ads, empty their funnel, and then nobody is nurtured and they need to start the nurturing all over again. My approach prevents that, as long as you add strong top of funnel ads to the campaign and mainly test those. So the way this is structured is that we have one winners ad set. There we have all strongest winning ads of all time in just one ad set, always ready to spend. By the way, if you wonder how this looks like in an ad account, I'll show you that later as well. For now, I explain the high level overview. So we have this winners ad set. And the reason for that is because in a CBO, generally, yes, we have the algorithm taking care of what gets how much spent, where it makes sense to spend, where not. And this even allows to not spend on low-level tests that won't perform anyway. But still, the rule is the less variables the algorithm has to work with, the easier it will be for the algorithm to solve the equation. Just like a math equation that you need to solve, it's way easier if you have only one unknown variable than when you try to solve an equation with 3 unknown variables, just like in school. So that's why we reduce the number of variables as much as possible by having a winners ad set. Now you might be thinking, how is that helping to reduce variables even though we add an ad set? Well, because if we have a winners ad set, Facebook will mostly spend on this winners ad set and only spend on new tests when they have actually the potential to outperform the winners ad set or at least serve as a decent support in the ad account. Once you add a winning ad into the winners ad set, the spend will often shift back to the winners ad set, even if a testing ad set was outperforming before. Then you can turn off the testing ad set, and this essentially helps you to reduce the number of ad sets in the long term. Now, when it comes to testing ad sets, we would have 5 to 10 testing ad sets every single week running. We just launch them all usually on Monday, and then we see throughout 3 or sometimes 5 days how they perform, if they pick up spend, if they pick up spend and perform, or if they don't pick up spend at all. And based on that, we make a decision of whether we should keep this ad set or turn it off or transfer the winner into the winners ad set. Then we have 3 variations per ad set. Now, why is this the case? This is simply because we use one ad set to test one ad idea or one ad concept. So let's say our ad idea is traditional UGC video in storytelling format with B-rolls. Because the hook is the most impactful thing, and if that doesn't get watched, the whole ad doesn't get watched at all, we prepare 3 different hooks that target 3 different angles. This way we have way more chances to hook people in, but also based on the budget allocation, we see what angles resonate the most with our audience, regardless of whether it will turn out to be a winning concept or a losing concept. Now, to demonstrate how it would look like, this is an example. Here's a full ad 3 times with 3 different angles. I'll play version 1 so you can take a look at how this looks like. This was one of the winning ads we made for our brand.
Ever notice how those flies keep coming back even after you've deep cleaned the kitchen? Drain flies breed in the organic sludge that builds up deep inside your pipes. Even if you scrub your kitchen spotless, they're gonna keep coming back because you're not removing the breeding ground. And homemade hacks like boiling water, vinegar, baking soda, they only work on the surface. That sludge stays trapped. The flies keep breeding and suddenly they're everywhere. That's where Dr. Pooper Drain Fly Killer comes in. Its fast-acting formula breaks down the organic gunk where flies breed, stopping the infestation at the source. Unlike surface cleaners, it expands into the hidden corners and dissolves the buildup. It kills drain flies on contact, and it prevents them from coming back. Safe for septic systems, plumbing, and even older pipes. 4 complete treatments per pack. Perfect for kitchens, bathrooms, and floor drains. Don't keep fighting the flies you can see. Eliminate their friends that are having a secret party in your drain pipes. Click the link below to get your Drain Fly Killer now. It's guaranteed to work or your money back.
So you can see this was the entire video, but the hook was the following.
Ever notice how those flies keep coming back even after you've deep cleaned the kitchen?
So basically the flies coming back even after you deep clean the kitchen. Let's take a look at version 2, where we have another angle as the hook, but then the same body.
Boiling water, vinegar, bleach, none of it works to get rid of the pesky flies in your kitchen and bathroom. And here's why. Drain flies breed in the
And then you probably already recognize the body of the video continues in the same way. So here we have a failed solution angle when it comes to home remedies. Here we have a failed solution angle when it comes to deep cleaning the kitchen. And then here version 3.
Those annoying little flies buzzing around your kitchen, they're not coming from your trash or fruit basket. They're living inside your pipes. Drain flies breed in the
And then it continues again in the same way. So you can see here that we have 3 different angles but with the same body. And this is what we run under one test ad set, and this is the exact reason why we can learn based on the budget allocation. Because if it would go to version 1, we know that the deep clean angle resonates the most. If it would go to version 2, we know that people resonate with home remedies that failed, and so on. Now what we also pay attention to is to hit the whole funnel and all awareness levels. You might already know that the least aware levels are actually the biggest in the market, but most brands only focus on targeting 1 or 2 awareness levels per persona. We target all of them because each persona exists in each awareness level. There are different sub-personas depending on the awareness level. So we create an awareness funnel where an unaware person can go from unaware and not having a problem or thinking that they don't have a problem to most aware and thinking, I have a problem, I want to solve it, this is what I want to buy to solve it. Now this is the main campaign, but next up we also have a promo campaign. In the promo campaign we have 3 identical ad sets with the same ads inside. The only difference is the targeting settings. So usually we run everything broad, 18+, and let the creative do the targeting. For the promo campaign we also have a warm retargeting campaign and a hot retargeting campaign. We also have a warm retargeting ad set and a hot retargeting ad set. The purpose of those is simply to leverage the data, but usually we see that targeting broad gets actually still the most spend and the most purchases. So Meta's algorithm really got already that well that it doesn't even need predefined retargeting ad sets. Now why is this working well and why do we have a separate campaign for that? First of all, this is working well because if we put bottom of funnel ads into this campaign, Facebook already sees, oh, this is an ad with a promo. This only resonates with bottom of funnel people. So we will only show it to bottom of funnel people. This is why the broad ad set usually does the best. Now, why do we have a separate campaign for that? This is simply to control spend between promo campaign and main campaign. I go by the ideology that we have only one campaign per business objective. Now, the business objective of the main campaign is simply customer acquisition and scaling. The objective of the promo campaign is to convert bottom funnel people with urgency and a specific offer or sale. And obviously when we want to empty the funnel that aggressively, we don't want to give Facebook the authority over when or if our promo ads will get ad spend, but we will just force it in a separate campaign. Now the last one is the retargeting campaign. And honestly, this is something I rarely do at this point because, as I already said, retargeting ad creatives in the broad ad set are perfect at retargeting, and retargeting happens in the main campaign. However, sometimes it makes sense to run catalog ads because those are perfect automatic retargeting, sometimes even prospecting for Meta. We just keep it broad, but often we see a higher frequency on this one, so this serves also as a retargeting campaign. And very rarely when I see that the frequency of the account is overall pretty low because we have so many top of funnel ads and Facebook is focusing on them and not even retargeting much, then we would also launch a separate retargeting campaign to empty the funnel faster because we can afford to do so and get additional profit from it. In this case, we would sometimes run an evergreen winning ad set, basically a duplicate of that, but with retargeting settings of the last 180 days. Now this is the full campaign structure that can take brands from testing a product to spending 10, 20 or 30,000 per day. Let me also show you how the structure looks live. Now while I'm showing you this, it's important to remember that the structure I've shown you is the overall skeleton that works and that we use to scale dozens of brands. However, since every brand is very different by itself, we will have some custom adjustments to each ad account to scale them in the best way. In this case, you can see we have the broad main campaign, which spends the most amount of money. If we go in here, you can see we have a bunch of test ad sets and everything currently running and spending at an average ROAS of 6. This is exactly what the brand's target is, and it's generating us over 200,000 in additional sales from Meta alone. On top of that, you can see here's a promo campaign. This one is actually off because obviously we only run it during promos, but you can see the frequency is obviously higher on this one, and so is the ROAS. Very typical for a promo campaign. Next up, you can see here's our catalog ad campaign, and interestingly, this one is working really well for this brand, not just as retargeting, but also for prospecting. You can see that the frequency here is lower than on the other campaigns, so it's working really well as prospecting. And then we also have a duplicate of the broad campaign, but as a bid cap campaign. Now again, this is the custom strategy just for this brand. Can't say too much about it, but let's say this brand just depends on external conditions a lot. And based on those external conditions, we will have days when we can spend way more and other days when we can spend way less. And this is why we have the bid cap campaign. So it automatically scales on those days when we can spend way more. Now, if you run this kind of campaign structure, all you need to scale is a solid creative strategy and strong ad creative that can scale. Together with the ads management, that's exactly what I provide for 7 to 9 figure brands that are looking to scale past 1 million per month. If you're in that position right now, click the first link in the description because that's exactly what I can do for you. This month, we're onboarding 3 more brands. So if you want to be part of them, click the link and schedule a call with me. Keep scaling. Bye.